Hey guys, Jeff Lathrop here with Evergreen Home Loans in Olympia, Washington.
Bill Lathrop here.
And we are podcasting episode number 8, September 1st, 2023.
All right. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday and welcome to September. So let's get this 8th episode of our podcast underway. And it's just a weekly update, which is kind of what this podcast has been turning into. And there's some activity picking up, which you can talk about, some economic news. Seems like all the projections are really based on whatever the economic news coming out is going to reveal. So maybe you can touch on that a little bit more, but it seems like we've been a little busier this week and some maybe mild improvement on rates.
Yeah, it's been an interesting week. One thing, got to just state how Evergreen had their biggest closing month in August 2023 for the year, which is a statement all in itself of how Evergreen does stuff, which is great. Take my hat off to them. The other thing is the market this week is, yeah, you're right. There's a lot of economic news coming out, easy for me to say, coming out this week, especially the last number today, employment numbers for August, which kind of came out in alignment. We've seen a little bit of a slowdown, which kind of the Fed see the economy slowing down, which is great for the numbers that we want to see. But then on the other side of the coin, energy numbers came out for the cost of gas being $85, $90 a barrel. And that's big inflation fear, and that just kind of pushed the 10-year up, and kind of rates kind of pushed back up today, minor adjustments. So for the week, it was a great movement, great time to be out shopping. We got, Labor Day weekend ahead of us, 3 days to shop if you're not moving your kids across country or back to school and all that kind of crazy stuff. But should be some open houses this weekend, and a good time to take advantage of it, and definitely lock in. I mean, what do you think, Jeff, about the rates?
I just say anytime you're under contract, if you are lucky enough to get an offer accepted, I think you should lock in right away, almost regardless of the rate environment. But anytime we do see a slight improvement like we have this past week, you definitely want to take advantage of that before it starts going the other way. A couple of years ago, we were more willing to wait for it to keep getting better. And nowadays it's like, hey, there's a little improvement. Let's be grateful for that and snag it up while it's still there.
Yeah, they're daily adjustments, no doubt. We see them throughout the day. Sometime midday price changes. That's how volatile this market is. So get a hold of your lender, and when you get your app done and you key in on your property that you're able to get, lock it up. And because they can get the loans closed quickly. Our typical turn time is 21 days. So that's great. But it needs quicker than that. We have products for that too, but it's a good turn time.
And speaking of turn times, a loan officer friend of mine recently posted that they were like, application must have been to final approval, not to closing, but application to final approval, including appraisal within 3 days. There must be a takeover loan, right? Like a rescue, like, hey,
has to be. You could have
a pre-approval that's been already completely approved.
Yeah, we know you can't close for 7 days.
Right, for government requirements, regulations.
Yeah. 3 days, they had to have everything done.
Even getting your appraisal back in 3 days is crazy. But you'd have to get your appraisal back in 2 days if you closed in 3. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you'd have to get it ordered and back and underwritten, reviewed.
So that's a loan officer actually commented and said, hey, come on the podcast. So I got to reach back out to him and schedule it because he's willing to come on the podcast. So maybe that'll be one of my first actual guest episodes with someone else talking about how in the heck you could do that fast of a closing and how often you need to do that. I mean, sometimes...
Well, you can't close in less than 7 days.
Right. But I know that sometimes those performances can win you a deal if you say you can do it. The hard part is backing it up and actually doing something like that.
Yeah, my guess is that was a recovery. Some deal failed. He picked it up or she ran with it and got it wrapped up because they transferred the appraisal and we're good to go.
Well, it said including appraisal. So it was either an appraisal transfer, which is the asterisk, or this was someone they had pre-approved and they were everybody was ready to go and it was fully actually approved, not just pre-approved.
Yeah, I thought I had the record appraisal. The VA appraiser reached out to the seller on a Sunday, and we had the appraisal back in our office on Tuesday on a VA transaction. That was and I've been doing this 37 years, and I've never seen that happen before. I've never seen a VA appraiser reach out on a Sunday to start with.
Yeah.
But so maybe, there are people that are Appraisers are aggressive out there now too, and things can happen. So if somebody needs to move that quickly, we've never really seen that unless they're living in a motel and moved cross country and something happened.
Right.
Most times sellers aren't ready to move that quickly unless the home's already vacant. But in the normal scheme of things, your loan's definitely going to happen in less than 30 days. And that's usually the time frame that people are ready to move, because it takes a bit of time to get everything ready, even find a moving truck in that time frame.
Right.
So,
but maybe a caveat. I don't know how to say that. Caveat.
Yeah.
But maybe an asterisk we can put here. If you were doing something like a bridge loan, maybe you would want to try to do a 45-day closing, and then eventually, well, this is kind of hard math, I guess, or hard scheduling, not math, but you could maybe not actually need that bridge loan if you had a long enough closing. And by long enough, even 2 extra weeks might be enough to get your place under contract here in the Northwest.
Absolutely. And that kind of leads us into our step-up product, which has been utilized in a couple of our markets, all of our markets, I should say, which is fantastic. So in this market where it is so competitive and inventory still being an issue, bottom line is you typically, most cases, unless the market lightens up a bit, need to submit a non-contingent offer to be competitive. And if somebody's got a home to sell, and it's tough because you don't want to sell your home outright up front, and then you can't find your home, then you're stuck with no place to go, and you got to figure that out. And most people want to make one move. And so the step-up product is really great because it is a bridge loan. It basically, the cool thing about Evergreen's version is you only qualify for the final loan. They don't count the bridge loan. They don't count your current mortgage against you. They just count the new one, so you don't have to do a whole bunch of crazy stuff. It's amazing, and every lender is not like that. So that's really cool. And so what you can do is set it up with the bridge loan so they appraise your existing home so you know what that value is, so you can tap into a portion of that to get your down payment and everything for the new house. It's all provided there. And you can go as little as 10% down, which is even amazing. And then when your home sells, you can take the rest of it and put it down. But like you were mentioning, instead of you set it all up, have it ready to go, and then if you're able to sell your house within the time frame you're supposed to close the new one, don't even need the bridge. We just roll it into a normal loan and skip the bridge, and makes it a simple operation. And that has been happening because of the ability to get loans done so quickly and sell quickly in the Northwest. So yes, that's really a great product. And
it's really nice when you can use the bridge loan but not need it and effectively not use it, because there are additional fees with it. So we're not just saying, oh, well, set it up and don't use it. I mean, yes, the product is there and it's very helpful and we've used it and had good results, but it's there, there are fees. And so we would try to be aware of that as well. And so, right. We want to spend your money like we spend ours. We don't want to spend it. Right. And bottom line, but if it's the vehicle that gets you one move and it gets the house you want, it's worth it. There may be a couple dollars, going toward that, but it guarantees you're going to get that. And that's the coolest thing. It makes it happen. You don't have to miss out because your home didn't sell, and in the time frame everybody thought it might. Because on that particular product, you have 4 months to get your home sold. And you got to price it reasonably to the market. You got to be prepped to go. And that's where you talk to your agent. Again, key player in this whole thing. Get them involved so they know, hey, we can turn your home like this, and let's go. So you're dealing with real numbers, not hypothetical numbers. Right. Yeah. No, it's a great product. And everybody will tell you still, it's a great time to buy real estate in the Northwest, because when the rates do come down to a more reasonable level, the competition is going to pick up, and it's going to push same, supply and demand issue. It's going to push prices up there and make it more challenging. So get it now, and hopefully whenever this market does turn around rate-wise, then you roll over and be able to refinance and take advantage of that. But you're already in the home, then you just lower your payment in the future, which is something to look forward to. And you can always manage the mortgage, which is what we do. So I love saying that. You can get in and manage that, because getting into a home, it's a big step. It's an awesome step to become a homeowner, because then you can do whatever you want to your property, paint it, put in your touches, make it your house, and then and take care of it, because you're responsible for it now. You don't have a landlord coming around saying, hey, I'll take care of that for you. It's yours. Take care of it. Have pride in it. So when you live there and it's time for you to move, or, move up, get a bigger home,
it's ready to go, and it's well maintained, and so it's attractive to future buyers. And there's your equity. It's growing for you. That's the biggest thing is in this market, values are still growing. There's still equity being attained. Wish we could say that about the stock market and every other thing going on. You can, count on this. Real estate's had a really good track record and continues to do so in the Northwest.
Well, and not to be a fearmonger in any way, but when I bought my first house, it was $190,000, and it was a sweet little place. 1,700 square feet, 3-bedroom, two bathroom, nice little yard. Second house, 10 years later, $500,000. And it was a little bit nicer of a house, but that same house, I believe, was over 3 or 4 times the cost. So, anyways, my whole point is that it's affordable in the now, and anytime you compare now to future or future to past, it's like mind blowing. And so, you really want to get in there when you can, because it's not going to get better, in my opinion.
Well, we don't know what the future holds for sure, and we've seen everything not get cheaper. That's for sure. We went through those crazy years of 20 and 21 where money was so affordable you could afford more expensive things, which has pushed the markets up. But that's why, know exactly what you can afford and what you feel comfortable with. Getting pre-approved with your lender, so when you're shopping and pricing those every home you look at out there, PITI, the whole enchilada, so you know what it's going to cost you, and you're ready for that. And that's the key. Make sure you're shopping in your correct price range. You don't want to find out you see this beautiful home, you go look at it and you can't qualify for it. That's painful.
Well, I spoke with someone today that they are getting their house ready to sell, and they're just getting their ducks in a row. But this house they want popped up. I'm like, oh, they're not behind the 8 ball, but just something that they were really interested in. They thought this is going to be coming on the market sometime. We don't know when. And maybe it's just like a month too soon. It's just one of those weird things. And they're like, oh, we got to make our loan application and get pre-approved and see if we can do a bridge loan or see how the timing is going to work out. But it's a perfect example. If you're thinking about it, get pre-approved and see what you can do, and then go out there and try to do it.
Yeah, it's like I said last week, and I guess I dwell on it. It's never too early to find out, because just what you just said. Now, they had done a week ago, they'd have their Security Plus approval ready to go. They'd have the step-up bridge option ready to go. You could jump on it, boom, make an offer, and be right in the front of the pack, instead of now wondering, what can we do? And, they love the home, so I guess you'll be busy this weekend.
Well, in their case, I don't know if they could have, there was not necessarily a reason to do their application any sooner, because they're trying to work a few things out. The house truly surprised them a little bit. And maybe if it would have been listed in 6 months, they would be 3 months early. But since it was listed now, they're like, oh man, we're almost there, but let's see what we can do. So it's just a kind of a unique example, I guess. So one of those things about how the time, they have a time frame, they're doing the exact right thing. And if that house wasn't available yet, we wouldn't even be talking, and it would be a smooth, ahead of the game thing, like I said, versus hey, let's see if we can do it. So,
well, I think that, but I think the average individual, they did a study here in the last few months, seeing they asked most people, if you're in the market, when are you going to buy? And they say 6 months. So I think you get in there now if you're planning to do something in 6 months, so what the details are. There's so many different options that are out there when it comes to it. But when that house pops up that you're interested in, boy, that just, you want to be ready.
Well, and yeah, you can't move fast enough, because it's like you're like, oh, how much longer is it going to take me to finish this application? And then was that going to call me tonight? Or he said it's going to take him 2 hours. So is that 2 hours business time or 2 hours whenever I submit? And that's how I am. I kind of overthink those things a little bit, but I know other people are like that, and people want to get their answers quick. So we do try to turn them around quick. And like you said, long Labor Day weekend, but we're going to be working the better part of it, I'm sure.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, we got to take some time out for Saturday to watch the Huskies play. But beyond that, whatever else is important. But no, I think it's key. But if they had a week under their belt, you'd have it all wrapped up, ready to go. Especially when you're doing a bridge, because you do have to appraise their property, so we know what the value is there. And I'm sure his agent has a really good idea what he's going to list it for when it's ready. But and knowing all the specifics, because all those numbers are key and very important.
Yep. So I'm excited to look at that application and see how we can put everything together. And that's just kind of one example of the types of, real world example of what we're trying to do to be of service and help out with the skill set that we do have.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think the real examples are the best because they really happen. And we can say that. And then you just got an example this afternoon, where it's like bang and they're ready to go. And fortunately, hopefully everything rolls and comes together, but you want to be able to be that person that helps them and not, hey, you can't move fast enough. Well, you want to be, but we can move quickly because we've got a great ops support and all the automation that we get to work with. But, time is very valuable. And so the sooner the better.
But that's also, I guess, fate, so they're going to get ready as soon as they realize it was time to get ready. And maybe this house will be available by the time they're ready to, and they'll have a couple options. They could make a contingent offer right away, but if they wanted to make a non-contingent offer, then we would probably need a little extra time to get that bridge loan in place. So that's where, I think they're doing the right thing, and I don't think they're behind schedule, but it's just funny how that timing works out on something like that.
It is. And like I said, my new slogan is going to be the sooner the better, just because I think it works. And nobody's ever going to say, oh, you did that too soon. But a lot of people can say, I waited too long.
Right.
And you don't want to do that. And especially when it comes to these decisions, I mean, there's enough stress in the world with what's going on around us day to day. You want to be able to provide for your family and do these wonderful things and having a home they can grow up in and experience with all those things that become yours. So yeah, we want to be there to help you. And that's our goal. And that's what makes, everything we do so much worthwhile.
So should they Facebook message you, text you, email? What's the best way to get a hold of you? And what hours are you available?
Well, I'd love to say 24/7, but I will respond to you when I'm awake. But my best is call me, 360-791-5803, or text, because then I'll get to you as soon as I can. My email is way too long to tell you that on the.
Well, we can show it on the screen.
Okay. Or email is a great way to go too, because then we can go back and forth with specifics, and whatever's convenient for you. We want it to be comfortable for you. Don't feel pressured or whatever. That's the last thing in the world we want you to feel. So we're here to help you. We're going to be on your team. That's the whole idea, to get you ready to go and help you get to the finish line. How about you, Jeff? How do they get a hold of you?
They just message me on Facebook or text me, 360-280-1277. And it's jlathrop@evergreenhomeloans.com. We'll show that on the screen right there.
Mine's easy then. blathrop@evergreenhomeloans.com. Okay.
B Lathrop or B square?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll wrap this one up and we'll catch you guys on episode 9. And we might have to plan something special for episode 10 because I think most podcasts don't go past episode 7.
Wow.
So we're in good territory now. If we can keep the momentum and consistency going, we'll be, getting some good experience and keep improving and all that stuff. So
sounds like a Star Wars movie, episode 7.
Yep.
Anyhow, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And also this weekend, go Huskies. Have a great one on Saturday. And everybody else have a safe and happy Labor Day weekend. And a short week next week should be enjoyable as we roll into September and the beginning of school and fall. And let's make it a good one.
Okay. See you next week.
Bye.